Hello, chat. How we all doing today? What? Also, Beanie Falls, thank you for the resub at tier 1 now for 3 months. Thank you for that. Alright, I'm just loading in right now, chat. But today, as you can see from the title, we are starting the Underwater Labs build. So, I'm going to switch over to gameplay. Also, Bluish Bean, thank you for the resub for 6 months. I appreciate that you've been sub for 2 so far, but I thank you for the 6 months in advance, basically. But hello, chat. So this is the project that I am helping out with and building, which is we are helping improve and build upon leg.gg extraction. So I got the clear ahead that I can build on the server even if no one else is on, because I'm also going to be streaming it, so no worries there. But this, let me crank my render distance up to max. This is just part of it. I helped build this on Legstream yesterday. I basically redid all the terraforming with the slope key. And then I retextured and painted with the legs. I believe it's I think it's legs.gg. I don't know. Hold on, leg. Right. Anyways, either way, basically this game is, if you've ever played The Division, Rust, just one leg. All right. This is where the underwater. No, this is not where the underwater lab's going. The underwater lab is going this way. But anyways, for those who don't know what extraction is basically a go in, grab loot, get out, try to survive while you're dealing with mobs and players and so on and so forth. And they finished up their season 1, and Legs is revamping it for a season 2. But basically, if you've ever played what's it called? The Division, Marathon, Arc Raiders. It's basically very much an extraction-based shooter. Yes. And so there's a bunch of different POIs that we can work on. So like Legs has been doing it on his subathon, so we helped build and set up these trees here. So these are all new custom like birch tree area and little builds over here. And then we worked on this bridge here and redid the bridge. Things are falling because of updated block textures, which is fine. But this is now an updated bridge, so we added bit stuff too. They did a little mural on the side. I did all this down here with terraforming. But now we kind of get to fly around where these rings are different updates to POIs that we can improve on. And I need to go all the way over here to the other side of the map, basically. So this is like the main town city fortification area that we're flying over right now. This is pretty much the center point of the map. And I am on the opposite side where I want to build this underwater lab. So as you can see, there's a lot of emptiness that like as we go on through the map, we can improve on and like add to and just feel more lively. But it's a really big map. It's massive. So here's an airport right here, and then coming up to this way, all the way over to here, in this section, is the underwater section that I can work with, right? Now, I didn't know how deep this was going to be. It's not extremely deep, but it is deep enough to where you can work on it and do like 1 to 2 levels. We can also make this deeper if we want. So we can fully make all of this deeper as we go. Now, I want to see something. Can I do slash drain 10? Oh, hold on. Yep, okay, cool. So I want to drain all this just to work in a better, because we can refill it with water afterwards. But I want to see what the floor looks like. So I'm just going to drain this ocean, and then afterwards... Oh. See what we can work with, chat. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm not going to touch any of this over here. My main priority is right here, which I can lower. What's going on? We're basically going to build an underwater labs facility here. So, and this is why I've been practicing Axiom. For the reason that I can go into here, and then I can... where is it? Elevation. Lower. And I can start lowering this down as much as I need, realistically. What's the lab for? Basically, this is for a server like .gg, ran by Legs Lagundo. And this is one of the games on the server called Extraction, which is an extraction-based shooter, as the name goes, Extraction. And one of the POIs they want to kind of like improve on is over here, and I want to build a underwater lab facility. So I need to kind of just break... Actually, can I just increase the radius of this? Yeah, that's better. Because I can go back through and retexture most of this. Point of interest. Yep. Because I want it deep enough to where we can actually, like, put stuff together and whatnot, right? Like... We need parts that are deep, parts that are a bit more shallow, and then we can also raise up what we're needing. I'm also not trying to get these lily pads in there because I want to leave them. I also don't want to touch this, so that's why I'm trying to mold around it. Ah. But yeah, like for the most part, a lot of this is what's the word? Relatively flat, as you can see, compared to everything else. So I want to try to bring some of this out and some of it in, and then go back through with the slope tool to adjust it, right? Kind of clean up. So that's what we're doing right now. What have y'all been, chat? What have y'all been up to? What have y'all been doing on this week? Writing, nice. Like over here is, I don't really need to touch too much. It's more here. There you go. Just doing that, and then I'm gonna decrease the radius just so I can fit within these little gaps to here. Cool. Exams at uni. Ah, I see a lot of writing. I'm looking at. Been sick. That's not fun. All right, cool. Yeah. So the nice part about this, right, is now that this is here, this can go way deeper, and we can actually start flattening. I think we can actually probably go deeper as well. Because you have to keep in mind, we have to do support pillars that are holding these up at like around this level. Because the water level is all the way up here. And we need like at least another layer or two. We're working on a much smaller confines than what we had previously, than we thought we were going to use, or like be able to have work with. So we kind of have to maximize how much space we get. Okay, so that's bedrock, so I can't go any lower than that, which I think is fine. Right. You know, the elevation tools are really nice. It's quite useful. Very cool. And at this point, I'll just break out any of the extra blocks that I don't really want. This World Edit mod. It's Axiom. Axiom's a great mod. It's not so much. It's a better World Edit. Like World Edit has a few features that are definitely easier to use than Axiom if you're like starting, but like the overall things that you can do with Axiom have been really nice to like learn. And it's all good if some of this is not retextured because I can go back through and then use the painting tool or the noise brush tool. And I have a preset that I made, and I can then go back through and retexture all this to actually fit the theming. Which will be helpful. Up, and then we go there. Okay, this needs to get broken up. Yeah, imagine if having, like, if I never used Axiom or learned how to use Axiom, and I had to do this all by hand. Because I don't know anything about World Edit. I've never used World Edit before. Every build that I've ever made, up until the escape room, has always been by hand. It's never World Edit or Axiom or Litematica, nothing like that. Yep. There we go. Let me fill this in, because this will probably be the lowest point. Because we can't make it super big, but we need it big enough to where we can add little support pillars and do what we want to do, what we did on the previous stream. Speaking of chat, the VODs should come out a little bit more quickly. I have everything besides yesterday's exported, so I'll export yesterday's, upload it, and then tomorrow you'll get this VOD for the VODs channel. In that case, yeah. There we go. Oh, alright. Just trying to smooth out some of these edges a little bit by hand. Alright, and then we'll fill this in. And then we will fill this part in right here. Alright, cool, yeah. So basically, this little outline grid will be where the footholds, like the actual support pillars go. That's why everyone's best try to explain it. When I was laying in the dark trying to fall asleep, so the next day I took the science with with a bat and a glass and a straw mat. Yeah. Landscaping, organics overall, you want like, so the thing with organics, right, is asymmetry and things that are asymmetrical are perfectly fine. Life is not like perfectly even in like nature and whatnot, so things that aren't like perfectly at the diagonal or perfectly connected is ideally what you don't want to try to get to when it comes to like terraforming and landscaping and like organics overall. My scoliosis will do the statement. So there are a lot of things that are symmetrical and very, very even and look really nice in nature, but everything to be perfectly accurate is not. So that's why if like I was just do a big straight cut, right, of just like a square box here, it wouldn't look good. But this, everything is sloped downwards. It comes at like a gradient. There's different height levels. It all feels organic in nature, but it's also intended, right? Because erosion and stuff over time would affect how these things function. So that's kind of where you need to get the idea. And another like thing for tutorial wise, right, is you can watch a lot of different creators explain organics and just practice it. Something looking too clean. Yep. And then chat, what I can do though is go to the noise painter tool, and I have this preset called Riverbed, and then I can retexture it all. So all that stone and everything. we can adjust the threshold. Because there's no sand in these areas, so being able to get like that. I can add a little bit of sand here and there. Actually, let's remove the sand and replace it with just that. Because there's no sand anywhere on the map at the moment. And so being able to just retexture this as this is easier. Make the radius smaller. And then connecting up to there, connecting up to there. Do I have? Oh, I do. I want to increase that a little bit. Increase the rooted dirt sections here so it blends in a bit more. Nope. Nope. Oh, let's increase rooted dirt a bit more. That's better. Height elevation that aren't leveled. Yep. Again, just adjusting the texturing here. Increase that rooted dirt threshold. How does that look? That's better. I'm trying to see how I want these noise patterns to look. Because I don't want it to all just be dark. I want it to like blend in downwards because this is a different section. Not bad. Yeah, I wanted out. Nature is your best reference for like looking at stuff and seeing what works and what doesn't. I want darker below where this goes inwards. So like there we go. That's better. Because as it gets darker, the blocks naturally, of course, would be darker. And this wouldn't be too big of a like thing. I'm just being very, very detailed about it. Because the water is going to cover most of it. But like for the most part, you would want the things that are lighter be up a little bit higher, and the things that are darker be lower down, because light with water is naturally darker. But you still want that markings here and there. And blending it in a bit better. Like up here, this shouldn't be this dark. There should be some, because it's mud. But it still should be overall lighter in texture. Yeah, just a fun thing to do, though. Because again, I am also trying to blend it back in with the normal riverbed. There we go. To here. Let me scroll that around. Let's turn this down just a little bit here. A bit more. That looks pretty good if you ask me, chat. I could probably turn this down, increase that. There we go. So what do y'all think? Pretty good? Awesome, yeah. So now we actually get to build the submarine portion. Not submarine, the underwater labs portion. Oh, goodness sakes. So basically, this is... sorry. This is... I don't have the map mod, but this is Extraction. It's an extraction-based shooter game that Lagundo's... It's like his passion project. That is on legs.gg, where it is pretty much a looter-based shooter game. Quote-unquote shooter. There's not really any guns. It's more just normal Minecraft PvP. But you go to different POIs and try to find loot, fighting against waves of zombies, primarily, and other mobs, while also having to fight players from time to time. And so you have to go in, grab your loot, and then find an extraction point and extract outwards, getting back to your base, and you get currency and items and a leaderboard stuff and so on and so forth. And it's like a mix of like Destiny 2, like Destiny and Destiny 2, The Division, Arc Raiders, those type of games in Minecraft. Get in, fight, grab some loot, get out. Yeah, and try not to lose everything. And so for season 2, Legs asked a few of us if we can help, if we want to help, kind of like survival. Yeah, an MCC, sort of. But there are different like POIs, for example, this that have a bunch of different rings over them. You probably saw some. Like if I fly over here, there'll be one across from the airport all the way down. This map is massive. This is a huge map. Like if I go into Spectator and I fly super quickly around, there's this one over here, and then all the way over here is like the middle of the map. Right here's middle of the map. And then it goes all the way down there. Here. For example, right, we're gonna do something real quickly just to showcase how big this map is. I'm gonna have a timer. Okay, I am at basically the end of the map. There's barrier blocks and so on to where you can't like leave. But I'm gonna start on this side of the map without overheating, because there's not much actually like rendered right now. So I'm gonna start a stopwatch and I'm gonna fly in Spectator on the fastest, highest mode I can for actually, we're gonna go into Axiom at 900 speed. 900. I'm flying this fast for context in a straight line, and I'm going to show you how big this map is just by flying at 999% increase of speed in a straight line. So, like, I am flying so fast the chunks can't render in right now. That's how fast this is. So we're gonna take a little bit of time just to let things keep rendering in as I go. Okay, now we're here. That took roughly 20 seconds. If we go to normal spectator speed, right, we go back down to normal spectator speed at the highest normal spectator speed can go, which is this. Ready? From this point on in a straight line, because this will actually at least render in everything. And now we're there. 30 seconds. Yeah, I could probably hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can install Voxy. Just real quickly. Just so y'all can basically see this. I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out if Voxy works with the server. I don't know if it does or not. It looks like it does not, which is fine. Oh, 7. But yeah, you get the idea. Pretty much, if I was to run from one end of the map at this Minecraft speed, it would probably take me, give or take, roughly 5 to 10 minutes. Why is the map so big? Because you need a big map for a game like this. If there's multiple people on, because like this is the only map, right? So when people are all playing, you can't always run into each other. The giant circles. Basically, the giant circles are just indicators of where POI's point of interest should be updated. So, like here, for those that I just joined, I'll fly over here real quickly. Actually, I can just go back into here and I can just increase this real quick. I can fly this direction. Oh no, Voxy does work. It's just I just have not rendered in everything. So technically, if we want to like render this all, it just needs proper chunk generation. Hold on, we're taking a little bit of a detour. We're gonna render in all the POIs and point of interest on stuff. And just so y'all can understand how big this gets. It's not even a NASA. I literally have I have an EVGA GeForce RTX 2060. It's nothing crazy. Yeah, the downside is some of the stuff is not going to render because I am like not loading every single chunk, right? See, because some chunks just aren't loading fast enough. But here, for context, I'll just fly. I'll fly it at like 400. To the very end point of the map, which is right around here. See, yeah. So basically, right, this is all radiation, so you really can't come over here. But here to there is this map. And this is just here. This still goes all the way up here. Just for context of how big this map is. I'm using Voxy, not Distance Horizon. But yeah, so basically from here to then, if I grab all this and I keep rendering all this in, yeah, we're in like .gc extraction right now. Yep. Yeah, it's not as laggy, so makes it a bit better. But let me quickly just fly over here. Render some extra chunks. I'll do basically an outline of the entire area just so y'all can understand how big this map is in terms of scale. Like I'll follow the beach riverbed area. Connect all that up. Yeah, so for context, right? That's the scale of the map. There's actually an easier way to kind of load everything in. How many extraction spots will there be? There's a good amount. It's not like one area. There's different little POIs and legs is updated, how they look and how they function. So I'm just going to render all this in, just so I don't have to do it later. And so y'all can see what it looks like. So the extraction points won't be like marked from what I know, and don't like fully quote me on this. It's entirely it utilizes, I believe, the compass, and there will be different areas with visual like indicators of what your extraction point is. So some of them will be live, some of them won't be live, and you have to find those that help you extract. So it's not like an exact indicator like, hey, this is the one you need to use. It kind of be like you have to find it, but play the game enough and it'll be fine. Yeah, I just want to load all this in first though. Voxy doing its best to try and adjust the rendering of all this. Because it is a lot. It is a lot to like render out. Drive some of the size. Yeah, well that's why I'm doing it. It's just so like we can see, and as things get updated, you'll be able to like look at it. And again, this is the center point of the map right here that I'm loading in. And all of this was done by the small team at legs.gg. So right now I just need to get all this done. Load all this in. There we go. And then there we go. It's not going to be perfect because, again, rendering a bunch of chunks that I probably the game's trying to figure out how to fix and adjust to. Because I am just flying over everything. But but our front of it all be usually more incorporation. Yeah, so again, Legs.gg is a little bit different. It's not so much just the standard looter shooter. Like it's Minecraft PvP. You can't really be doing everything else, and you have a more opportunity to actually get away and such. Alright, that's roughly most of it. So yeah, let me turn clouds off. Visuals, clouds, off. So yeah, this is the extraction map. For how big this map is. Right, so for context, I helped last night, terraform this riverbed area right here. So we redid this. That's what these are here for. It's to terraform and find everything. And so I kind of terraformed of slopes and such, and now I'm doing that over here. at this POI all the way over here. But I want to add a underground laboratory. So, or an underwater labs. And that's what this is here for. All right. So Lagundo mentioned something that water in this game freezes you and you take cold damage. So I want to do the same structure pillars that we did. Right, yeah, we'll add those. I need to just get the actual like we'll add rocks and texturing that later. But for now we just need this. Just so we can fill it. The pool. No, we're having the pool because there are ways to get underneath it, but I think it'd be cool if there was like another entrance as well. But we do need the, so what was it, copper? It was waxed. It was all the normal waxed variants. And then it was also weathered, waxed weathered variants. Cool. Lagundo VODs, as well as Lagundo's been doing a subathon, so a lot of it is taking place right now. Right. So the thing is I think we still do the little like support pillars here. Right. Like, you do that, and then make another one. Yeah, that works. Redstone. And then we can kind of retexture this. Okay, we don't have too much space, so we're not gonna like make them super big. Honestly, a 2x2 might be better. Like a 2x2 pattern. That's another thing. We now have to figure out, because we don't have a lot of space here, I thought we'd have more. So I need to figure out how I want these support pillars to go. Maybe by doing... Wait, actually, I have an idea. We'll make it stumpier, if that makes sense. So not so much that it not so much that it's tall, but still wide at the base, and then we can have placements like that, and that way those can be the things. And what we can also do is like fuse them together like this as like connecting points. And then we can do the same thing here. But that's not right. Those need to be there. I think that's good, because then we can like connect them. Where is it? This. And this can be our little entry point. This still needs to be hovering above. Again, it has to be smaller than normal. But I think it being smaller is not going to be a bad thing. And it needs to be wider. What do we think? That's a good size, chat? Or do you think we should be longer? Yeah, okay. First point, second point, there. And then we can move that. Right there. Up. 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 Cool. Confirm. Sick. Small. Yeah, it is smaller, unfortunately, because just what it is. But I want to have this here because, again, submarine can still come out, come up to here, and it can still, like, do the things it needs to do, right? Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's made for very specific small submarines, research subs, ideally, right? Like, that's the whole point. Because a small submarine can fit here, down, up. We could also make it taller. I think we make it taller up. I think that would be helpful. If we raise this. Like to there. I feel like that's a good raised point. It needs to be one more out. Because I don't want to deal with evens. Right, so then a sub could definitely come underneath and then come upwards. And again, I just need to figure out placements of stuff, so I just need to do this real quickly to determine... Oh. Infinite reach. Yeah, that works. And 3 out. Sick. The other thing is we can make this smaller. The actual tubes will probably be just this wide in like a very simple 3x3. And nothing bigger than that. And then some tubes might even be a 1x1, like very, very tight quarters, like this. It would be cool though if Minecraft ever adds like really, really deep water to allow really big underwater bases. I'm talking deep water, like water that goes from normal level down to like bedrock almost, of just ocean. Mariana Trench deep, yeah, like extremely deep. Because like there's the deep ocean, right? But I'm talking like Mariana Trench, super, super deep. We're also gonna only keep it 3 blocks tall. We're not gonna get a lot of roof for a lot of these. It's really not that deep. That's what I'm saying. It needs to be super deep. I'm talking like if you have a phobia, you don't want to go down here. Nautilus would be extra useful there. Yeah. Terrified in modder hands. Oh, it would be. It would 100% would be. It's possible terrain generation, but I'm saying natural Minecraft. Then they could add like big squids and other big things. Yep. See, chat, y'all get the idea. Back underwater mobs that lost the Phantom, they could. They 100% could. Needs to be a little bit taller. It just needs to be 1 taller. Hello, ship. made the map. I did retexturing on this. I lowered it all down, and then I retextured with the noise paintbrush with this little river preset that I made. So yeah. I also installed Voxy just to show chat how big this map actually is. It big. Yeah, right now we're actually starting to build the underwater labs, so that is the start. And that's better. That's a good height. And then what we can do is add 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Some light blue glass for water effect. And then a lot of the underwater areas have sort of this cap off point. That's just like that. And then it's like trapdoor. As in like that's the ending point to it. Sick. All right, now we need to figure out how to connect these upwards. I also need to retexture this, but Infinite Reach is really cool. It's really useful. I think we go here. I could also just do one. Maybe only do one pillar. Actually, that could work. Hold on. Okay, let me... block. Let me just do limit of that just so I'm not breaking my game every time I select something. Okay. So if I... actually, let's skip this one also. So if I take this, go 0.1, 0.2, we extend it out to there. We can then move it to there. And I believe there's also a modeling tool. No, there is a way though. Hold on, let me... There is a way to rotate this without meaning to like rebuild it. How do I do that? Not modify. Not sculpt, not painter. Oh, that's just a random block. I don't need that. Let's make a copy of it right now. There should be something. Clone, stack, smear, extrude, erase, symmetry. What is it? Copy, minimize, copy, air, no. Maybe? Nope. First point, second point. Let me do that real quick. Extend selection. Let me see. Is it? No, it's not the. There is a way. There's a way to move it, and I forget how. And it's like fully with these tools. But I'm forgetting how. Because you can rotate it in a different direction. I need to learn how to do this. So what would this be under? Options, tool mask, no. Move select, oh, move selection. And then rotate Y. Confirm. Wait, I just had that there, what? I just had the... Under edit? Well, no, copy cut, no, but I did see a move selection. Rotate. So that's there. And then can I maybe paste it? Nope, that's not it. Oh, that works. Okay, well. At this point, it should be faster if I just rebuilt it. But if I just deselect that and then just stamp tool it, there we go. I know there's a way to rotate it. Not the blocks, yeah. Which is a little bit unfortunate. This needs to be moved back one. Because it needs to fit right under there. Same for you. There you go. See, in there, that makes it easier for a submarine to get in and out. And now we can actually extend this upwards. What do we think, chat? Pretty good? As, like, the base points of this? That's better. Yeah, I need to make it look sturdy enough to where it looks like it's actually holding the weight down. Cool. Alright, we have this one done, and now let's work on the pipe. And again, a pipe will probably just do this. And then have, like... this connect to it. The pipes aren't going to be super, super long, just because you don't have a lot of space for them. But it does mean we can start, like, adding detail and such. Yeah. Because we can have this go into another room. I think, like, this can be going upwards. We can have, like, another room here, like, another room there, and then one here that comes out and connects to, like, here. Like, I want to go all the way up to this point. Like, this is the area that I want to get to, at the highest point being here. So we have pretty much from this section. Let me actually make a little... let me... angel block. Wool. So basically we have from here pretty much down to the floor is how big I want this to go. And it's not like, oh, just that distance. I'm talking height, elevation, different things being above, below, creating different spaces. Right. So, like, we can technically do a T intersection right here. And, like, connect it up. Alright, so, like, we can have this here. Actually, I feel like this should go into a room first before we do a T intersection. I feel like this should be a room. So it's pipe. Yeah. Yeah, right here be a room, and then we can add some stuff into it. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Over blueprints. Blueprints are too big. The pipes are too big for what we're wanting. We need to make them way smaller because you don't have that much space in here. So everything needs to be very, very much more contained. In the best way that I can put that. More claustrophobic, yeah. Which is not a bad thing. It's gonna suck for whoever comes down here and has to fight mobs, but, you know... High loot reward can be down here. A high valued loot reward stuff can be down here. But what room should we make this, chat? I think we make it into a room that splits off into 2. Looks cool. Basically, we're helping out with a game called Extraction. It's an extraction-based quote-unquote shooter. T-section, but it's a room. Like, this actually is a room that has stuff in it. Like, that's the thing. Everything... T wrote the T. Something like that, I think. That feels... that's off. That needs to come outwards by 1. Why is that not symmetrical? There we go. Up, and then... like that. Maybe offices? I don't know how we could fit offices in here. We can definitely try. I just need to figure out how. And then this, and then... bup. We could also make this into a... what's it called? We can have the... ladder for one of the rooms come right here. So you're just instantly going up as well. Right, like... because again, we can work with like I can then make a room that comes like right to here and have like stuff in it, and that room then extends out over to here. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. We're allowed different ways of molding this in the best way that I can put it. That would create levels in here. So we have a lot more space than what we think we do, right? Because it's not just, oh, we're only on this level, because at that point we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could do like 5 here, 4 here, 3 down here. And these rooms don't have to be large, they can be small. So we can have a ladder that goes up here. And this will get broken up a little bit by this section, so probably to there. I would think, and then, yeah. Would be for reference. There. Technically, actually one below that. Because these are lily pads, so... That's how much height we have. Yeah, we have a lot of room. And that's why I'm like, I want to go all the way over to here and then like have a room here, a room that's like maybe here, one that's like right here. Like that's why I made it deeper, because originally the deepest point was there. Like the deepest point was here. So we gave ourselves a lot more room with this. Now, we're not going to finish this all on today's stream. I'll probably also work on it a bit tonight as well. So, kind of making it water level. Yeah, so there. And, like, that's as far as we're wanting to go. Because I don't want to intrude on this. Because there's, like, this obelisk thing here. Right? And I kind of like the idea, story-wise, that the researchers have made an underwater lab, and that's what they're studying, is that. I mean, like, because there is world building and a world story to this map. It's not just random buildings everywhere. Like, everything has it. So, from what Legs has said, if I fly over here real quickly, this is the last city. And so, there's a bunch of these destroyed buildings and, like, last fortifications that happened. So, like, we added some more over here that have been, like, slowly being added to. It's rubble and such, and basically these last buildings were like forts before they decided to wall up the city and defend from in here. And so all these structures are places that have been infected by whatever those obelisk things are. So there's one over here, there's like a floating thing over here that's like now clean and like pure almost in a way. And you have like a bunch of them over here and such. So I like the idea that these researchers were trying to just study and test whatever that is. Because I generally don't know what that is. So the idea that these researchers were testing and stuff underwater nearby because they felt like underwater was the safest location to be near it, but also not be affected by whatever it is. So that's kind of my little theory. I'm also not going to do any of the like detail or interior yet, just because of or like any of the like weathered blocks added, because I want to just get the actual thing done first. It's basically canon. Yeah, well, yeah, but like there can be a different story narrative to why this is here. This is just like my idea of why I thought this would be cool little design for this. You know, this is going to be sick, though. It's going to be really, really fun to mess with. Just want to see. Okay, yeah. So, cool. Let's see. This goes here. I don't want it, I want this to also be a bit of a smaller. We can actually do a bit of an oval. A bit more of an oval-esque room here. Or just longer, I should say. What's the build for exactly? Basically, the build is for Lagundo's extraction game on legs.gg or leg.gg, I forget if it's legs or leg. And so for season 2, they want to revamp some POIs, which are why there are all these different circles. Leg.gg, thank you. And so I wanted to build a underwater lab, military-esque lab, underneath this lake. So I've helped build some stuff over there, over here, and now I'm building this here. And it's all for that, so. It is. I don't know if it's Bedrock compatible. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Leg server's free to play. So it also has a lot of fun game modes on it. There's one that's really, really fun. It's an explosion-based game to where you don't... It's like a combination of Spleef and PvP, but if you die, you don't instantly die, you explode, and you get launched into the air, but you break all the blocks around you. Kaboom. Yeah. And it's super, super fun. I want this to be a bit more of a longer room. Blowout, yes, blowout. Thank you. That's what it's called. Yeah, do a bit more of a longer-esque room here. Yeah, that's good. And then I can make a doorway here. There, and there, and then there. Cool. And that's the fun part with this, right? Is that just because someone can try to get downwards into here, right? Like if someone was up here and they saw that, they would have to have a certain like potion or something to get down here. But I think it'd be also cool if there was like another secret entrance that you could get to from like out here, possibly. Like maybe right here by this rock or something that just goes inwards. And then there's just a pipe system that connects to the side, like be it from here or up or higher up. Because I think the water's cold, and because the water is cold, you start taking frostbite damage. I believe. They don't freeze it. Well, it's to give people a way, like, to actually get to this, because there is a way to not freeze by having, like, a turtle shell helmet or a potion of water breathing, I believe. And so the idea is that you could use that water breathing helmet or potion, right? And then you could swim from down underneath, and then it comes up to here. So that's kind of the idea, is it gives people like ways to get around this. But I could also make it to where the only way to get it is via water breathing, and there's high tier loot down here. Like really good loot. That could be another thing. Right, so there's a lot of different ways we can take this. It just depends on how we want to. Because, again, I'm taking references from Russ Underwater Labs. Which the only way to actually get under there is if you have a submarine, or if you have scuba gear. Which, there's no Minecraft submarine, but you can make a quote-unquote scuba gear thing by having a turtle shell helmet. But this generally looks so good, though. Like, we'll add one more room here. We can add, like, one room here, right? And then that can be a good room. And then we can break this off. This can then be going to, like, a L shape. Then it's over here, and then this goes over here, right? Like, we can start piecing it together. And I'm liking this a lot. Right, so, like, we can also add interior rooms as well. Like, we can then start marking this and add like a room that then like sections here or something. Like these don't have to be hollow. They don't have to be like these open areas. They can entirely be smaller, tall, like longer. It just depends. Like this room. No, you cannot place blocks in extraction. Everything has to be entirely in gain from chests, and you can't break blocks, you can't take blocks. It's entirely only this. Cool. Okay, there we go. I also need to put support pillars on the bottom of some of these. Like putting a support pillar here. And then like maybe one here. So it's just not floating. But for the time being, this is good so far. I also need to then weather out some of these copper blocks. Cool. Yeah, so this room can be like, you have to get to a door, and the door opens, and that's where you get some stuff. As well as like in here can be some random stuff with key cards. Because I believe there are key cards in this. So you definitely can like add... It has to be a decontamination area. That can be somewhere. Don't know where. But all of these, like... it can have stuff in them, and can have like a green key card, a blue key card, a red key card. Because they can do that, so which is nice. So we finished this portion, which is good. I want to leave this as is. I don't want to make it go up or down. I mean, I could make a ladder that goes down here, but no. Building going so far so good. We terraformed all of this, and I lowered all this down. Right now we have our little like dome egg shape areas. We're gonna extend this one out a little bit farther. Just a little bit, not too much. Cool. And now this one, we're gonna go out this way. Light blue. I don't know. Maybe we don't have a lot of areas that actually give light. Not sure. We'll figure it out. Let's see. We've already gone back one. I don't want to go back. I think we make another little pod here. Being underwater, wouldn't it? A little bit, yeah. It would be darker, yeah. I'm just like thinking realistically. Putting certain pipes that just have like windows in like certain areas. Not all of them, but just some of them. Tinted glass. I don't want to do tinted glass because, again, it would make it naturally darker. I'm just thinking like, would underwater pipes for like laboratories have thick plexiglass plastic that is pressurized? Is what I'm trying to figure out. I am going to cover these. I will cover these. I just have them on just to see where they'll be placed. Because, like, we're going to have these lamps in here as well, which will give natural lighting. Or just enough lighting, not artificial lighting. I just need to figure out what. That is all. I say we do a small room here. Like this, just a curve. And then there. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. Okay. Awesome. The thing they're studying, likely not. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. The thing is, the thing that they're studying is up there. Like, the thing that they are technically studying is that. So it's not so much it would or wouldn't. I'm just also trying to think. Rust, underwater labs in Rust. Do they have them? But I forget if they do or not. There we go, and then 1, 2. The block. Yeah, so it's not all the same thing. Hmm. Oh, I know what I can do here. We're gonna do a long piece right here, which will be like rooms and like barracks and that type of stuff. It needs to be relatively big, just to fit like small 3x3 rooms in. And it also can be a T section as well if needed. Yeah, because then we can come inwards right here, have another one And then actually that one can actually drop downwards, and then it can go like here, and we can have like a one that goes here. The other thing is the submarine could fully just come out to here, go down here, deposit, come out, turn, and that it doesn't really have to go forwards. So we can actually play with going down as well. We can't go too much farther this way. We can go a bit more here because that's right there. We can go here. Yeah. I'm liking this so far. Right? That's about. You're gonna ban submarine. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like we can add these things to it. We're just at the moment working on this. Taking one thing at a time. This needs to go out one more. That's good. Cool. Nothing gets done exactly. And that's why we're doing this first. Because, yeah, we can basically, like, hallway this section, like, make this section narrow, like, very narrow, with rooms in it that are just, like, bed, items, door. And it's just barracks. It's just these tiny little rooms. Lovely living conditions. I mean, they're underwater. They're not going to get much space. I can try making them a bit bigger. So there's actually, like, walking around and such. But, again, we're working with very small details here. I could push this back. You know, yeah, I'll do that. I'll keep the distance but push this one back a little bit. How did... Now it needs to go extending one whatwards. Okay, sure. Well, they've increased their living space by a little bit, that's for sure. Yeah, that's fine. We'll then do a room that's then here. That can then go to here. And then we'll also do it that goes downwards so we can keep working on the height. Because we can also we also need to go from up top here. So we have space for different things. Symmetry. No, I'm good with symmetry. It's just the getting it evenly spaced on those axes. There we go. It's actually not going to look that bad being all the same, roughly the same block color. Because once we start adding the other little blocks and mixing in the weathered, it will... everything will roughly blend in with each other, which will be nice. Yeah, I am. I'm liking this a lot. Because when Lagundo adds the monster spawners into here, of like different areas of like zombies and spiders and whatever that he can add. Fighting in these like close quartered areas. Mace vibes. It is very maze-esque, but once we start adding the like supplies and the items, it'll feel really good. Because I want it to feel very mazy. I want it to feel like you're kind of running in circles. And so to get to certain areas, you have to go up or down, and you don't know if you already checked that room or not. Of course, you can't make it super big because we're on a very limited threshold of space. But I can make this taller. I can make this really tall and boxy, which I probably will. Like, I'll probably make this go down and have, like, one room here, and then, like, another, like, maybe split off to have, like, 2 rooms this way, and they connect back up to here, so it's like a little quadrant section, or, like, one room that's separate than 2 here, that then connect to here, right? And then underneath that, we can come all the way up to here. Because water level should be right around here. At the top of the water. So we have a lot of space to work with. During the game, right? I don't believe so. I believe it's just whenever you call the extraction. You can stay in there as long as possible. It's just you need to call the extraction for it. But if you're trying to fight mobs while looting through stuff, it can become difficult, which I think will be fun. Like a good little challenge for people. Especially if the only way to get under here is via water, right? Using water breathing or the turtle helmet. And so to grab all that, grab whatever in here, fight whatever mobs or wherever. It'll be fun. It'll be good. And then we'll do another little section. What's also nice is we haven't done any actual like curved tunnels. Everything has been relatively straight and connected. Like, you can consider this, like, as a curved corridor, but, like, you could still put stuff in here. So there hasn't been any, like, curved pipes, which has been really nice to, like, not worry about. So we can just focus on just making all this very, very clean cut, very human-esque in, like, this whole area. I like it. All right, and now I think we do a little bit of a different room. This room's gonna go downwards, so there's gonna be a ladder hatch that goes down. And so I want the ladder hatch to actually be over here. So like its own little separate room. And like this can drop down a little bit to here. And then we can connect all this. Make it pretty simple. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna look good. Maybe I'm gonna push this back one. Just so this can be here. And then we can have the 3x3 here. There we go. That's better. It's like I was wondering why it felt weird, but that's because of that. Nice. And you know what? Just because we'll add another little room. Just because we can, we'll add another little 3x3 room in here. Doesn't have anything in it, but just because we can. We can put like a little bit of a few items in here. He's getting greedy. Ah yes, the greed of building. It's the greed they speak about in the Bible. Building in Minecraft. The greed they can talk about in construction manuals. This looks sick though. like everything is not identically perfect to each other. One more room couldn't hurt. We are gonna add a decent amount of rooms though. Like I want this area to feel like a maze. And having it have all these different levels but be so claustrophobic in a way. To where you don't want to go down here. Like you want to go down here to get the loot, but like having to fight so many like zombies that were like scientists that were down here. And a high risk, high reward, right? So like very claustrophobic, very like everything's underwater. You would either come through this way or we will have like another little entrance, right? And then as you, right, like here's the thing. If it's a high value area, like a lot of loot, this is in the top right hand of the map. This is the farthest basically area that you can get to in this map. Like there's this little like pool up here, but there really isn't anything here. So like this POI is basically the main, like the farthest area from the other side of the map, right? So if we add this almost cube-like underwater labs structure that is like high value loot, but you have to have either a water breathing potion or a turtle mask to get under there so you don't take the frost damage. Right? And then you have to fight everything that's down there. And then also you have to have another one of those to get out, and then you have to find your extraction point to get out and leave. Right? So like there's a lot that can be done with this. And I think that's really cool. I don't think there's anything like this on the server so far. So I'm happy with this. All right, because now we can do another room here. Or actually, we can connect it here, and this part is the room. All right, so like then, now this is the room section. A small cafeteria or something. We can maybe add it like here, possibly, or add it to a higher level, right? Because we have all these different rooms, right? Like maybe this is where they do all the testing, and then like this floor up here is more like recreation and like relaxation. So like a cafeteria, a barracks, right? And then like we can have like another floor just be for like random stuff, right? Game room. Guys, they got ping pong going on in the other room. Get in here. But like we can definitely add stuff. Deserve a game room. Like we can definitely add things to make it feel people lived down here. I need to go lower. I need enough space in between the two buildings. But I also need it enough to where it's not touching the floor. $15 bathrooms. There we go, and then now we can add this. And just like that, we can add one more hallway there and one more hallway there. This is gonna look so good once we're done. Like, you're not gonna be able to see any of the exterior very much because of water. But we start adding a little bit of like lights down here. Staircases? No, everything's via ladder. An indoor pool. Technically, this is considered an indoor pool. Would it be ball pit room? Would it be considered an underwater pool or an indoor pool? Or both? An underwater indoor pool? Or is it technically an exterior pool because it's just on the outside? You're just inside a room that's outside. Right? Because, like, when you think about it, this is a natural lake. We made a room underneath the lake, but we've turned being underneath the lake into a pool that's outside, but we're inside. And a diving bell. Should we just add a bell in here? Just one room has a bell, has the sellout bell somewhere in here. Yes, all right. We'll add it in there at some point. Don't know where, but we will. Oh wait, did I do this right? Oh my, I did this right. Oh, wonderful. Excellent done on my hands, I'm just gotta say. Was this all planned from the beginning? Not at all, but am I gonna say it was? Absolutely. Look at that. Like, having these base structures be, like, supported like this consistently is just gonna look so good. The more I fly away from this, the more I'm excited about this build. because I'm just starting to see like up here, one over up here, one connects to here that's floating, one that's in here, one that's in like connects to here, and then you go up again. It's like this is good. This is good. I say we do not a super big room, just like a decent size, and we'll do like a long room this way. We'll go out to like here. Yeah, that's good. This has turned out so good so far. Yep, and there's just enough space to where they will not run into each other, which is great. That's my other thing, is I didn't want the top or bottoms to actually like touch. I wanted there to be gaps, so like if someone was swimming, they could swim through that. And we don't have to worry about that so much when we go upwards. It was more about down here at first. And again, we probably only gonna do one more down here, just because. I don't know what we'll do down here yet, but we'll find out. Maybe. What? I'm trying to hold on. I'm gonna look at the rooms in Rust. Rooms in Underwater Labs Rust. I want to see a visual of what they look like. Hold on. Rust Underwater Labs rooms. Right, okay, so this is from 2021. But the procedural underwater labs. Okay, so there are windows, so I can add windows to them. Sick. That's good to know. Let me switch over my stuff real quick. Windowed. Let's go here. Right. So this is from Facepunch. This is their Going Deep update 2021, basically when they introduced the underwater labs. This is the inspiration of it, right? So the underwater labs is a fully procedural procedural dungeons that reside on the ocean floor. They will become to a variety of shapes and sizes, and for now, with 2 entry points. You enter from a moon pool, which is here, which you resurface via submarine or scuba gear. For there, you can come prepared to face a variety of puzzles. Prepared to face the various puzzles on offer. The base has a variety of CCTV cameras that come connected to a plan of your exploration ahead of time. The new and improved player map will So, like, these are the layouts that I'm thinking of. So we can do like lockers as well, like make lockers right here. On the right side, you see that, and then also down here, this is like the idea of what I'm getting at. Is like they're dark. There's some portholes. There is a mess hall. So if you take the risk, the occasional mess hall will allow some high stakes poker, listen to music. All right, so there's a mess hall, there's a kitchen area. You have like your laboratory experiment stuff. You have your like office facilities, there's a jail, and then there's like an engine. This is one of the like engine room stuff. And again, this is the submarine I was basing it off of. It's very small. Like it's a one person man sub, but you could probably fit a few people into it and like resources to like drop stuff on and off. So that's kind of the idea. Right. Lockers, mess hall, bell room. We're gonna have I'll probably watch a video later today on just the rooms in Rust for the underwater labs, just so I can see what rooms can fit what. But for now, I think it's pretty alright if I don't make this one too big, but enough. We'll make this one relatively big. Because like the sub can go this way around. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm keeping in mind what I'll be able to like add into these. That's... How is that off-centered? 2, 1, 1... No, it's not... I just have to make this... be fun lore. Well, I'm not the one that adds the spawners down. That's primarily Lagundo, because I have no idea how those work, and I don't want to accidentally break anything, so... We're gonna let them handle it. Probably can go out. Why is that so off-centered? That feels off-centered, but it's not. No, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, Perspective Gober, like, I don't know. I know I'm like making it more and more warped as I do this, but like I'm trying to figure out why it's looking so weird. Okay, that's better. Is this too big, you think? Or actually no, that's actually it's kind of perfect. It fits right underneath it. It's a little bit more over the top, but like it works. Dark. Yeah, now that I know that, like, there are little portholes, if you will, for this type of stuff. I'm just extending this out one more just because of the idea that I can, that like, that's just the end cap there. Feels like you can place a warehouse. Yeah, you can put like storage and stuff down here. There are some places you just can't. Just because of how I have it. But it's, I don't mind adding a few here and there. And then removing them from like other sections. I think it's kind of cool being able to like look out and see everything. And this can just be like a storage room as well. Alright, let's see what you're doing. Oh, it looks so good. That looks so good, chat. And we aren't even like fully done yet. We still got to go. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we can do a bigger dome area up here. And then it's like a 4-way intersection. I think it would be very cool. And then what we can do is also is like connect them via the pipes. I need to place these down here. Actually, let me... No, that's fine. That looks good there. It's the same... Or do I put them on the side? Maybe I move it on the side. Can I put it on the side? I can't put it on the side. Never mind. Never mind. Can't do that because of placement. That's fine, though. Yeah, this is looking good, though. Like, once we start adding a bit more of, like, the weathered look into this, it's going to look really, really good. You can also add sea lanterns. Here, here, there, and there, just to give a bit more light when you're underwater. Alright, I'm gonna take a little break from building at the moment. I kind of just want to see what other POIs that are possibly being adjusted. I'm the only one on right now, but I just want to take a little bit of a break. I've been doing it for like 2.5 hours. So there's this over here, which the thought that Legs is suggesting is this gets turned into a quarry section, so like a big excavation dig site next to the hydro dam. Which would be pretty cool because like there's already this here, so making a big dig site would be cool. There's also cargo crates there as well. So there's that, and then farm is staying the same. What is Legs wanting for this? What are we at? Okay, so right here, more like ruined-esque buildings slash destroyed areas. So basically coming through with the path blocks, adding a bit more ruins, updating the texturing of them, and doing that. And then the T area, I believe, is just... There's no T. I don't know what T is. So I don't know what T... Maybe it's just expanding on... Oh, sorry. Green T's just need some terrain. Okay, so it's terrain, mountains, rocks. Which is quite easy to do, actually. That's not something that's too difficult. So T area over there, terrain area over here. And then there's going to be this little section here. Something would be pretty cool. I is expanding on the industrial factory. So expanding on this factory, probably expanding it outwards that way, and that way adding up more buildings and rubble and that type of stuff. We already did the bridge. We did this last night on Legs' stream. So again, I went through and I terraformed all this, and then they worked on the bridge and like cleaned it up, fixed it. Why did you spawn? So we did that. And then up to here, around this riverbed area, Lex is suggesting like a swamp or something. swamp-like stuff. And then all the way up here in these white circle sections is a pale forest or pale garden area. Wait, the pale gardens? Huh. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it's really, really cool. Yeah, but it's very cool. It's the map for season 2 of Extraction. We're updating some of the POIs. So this is the center of the map. It's very big. Like, genuinely, this map is huge. For context, also, these are the spawners. Like, those were, I think, skeletons. Yeah, I don't know if all the bows or not. But there's like campsites being made, and like this is an extraction point where that helipad is. But this place is run down, and they basically have tried to bunker into the city. The game feels very a combination of like not so much Destiny 2. It has Destiny 2 vibes, but like The Division and Arc Raiders. Like very, very much the like everything, something happened, catastrophic event. Now there's chaos in the area, and you kind of just need to find materials, get back. The main thing that's Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 vibes is your hideout, because the main hub for extraction is very similar to the tower from Destiny 1, which is really cool. Yeah, we also did this as well. We made a bunch of template uh birch trees and rocks. So like if I go back to here, get up my stamp tool, and I add from a blueprint. These were blueprints that we had, but then we've also, there are server ones that we get to use. And so there are different little rocks that we've made and added that we can just start adding into the different like placements of stuff, which is really nice. You can also do, what is it, single deferred? No. What is it? Deferred radius, and like it'll I'm just going to show this just a concept. Like you can start placing a bunch of different rocks everywhere depending on the height in that. The one downside is there's so much elevation that some of them float, so you really want to just do it one at a time and kind of like adjust what you need. No, this place is massive. Very post-apocalyptic. Yeah, and right here they're wanting more terrain, which honestly isn't that too difficult. Because if we're going off a terrain like this, and like different ways, genuinely just the elevation tool and raise, and like you can already start with elevation like that, which is quite nice. And if we really need to like make this thing massive, like the entire structure, and it will adjust the height map of what you're wanting, so we can raise that up to be on a hill instead of being on a flat ground. And it really depends on how much of a like terrain you're wanting to elevate through. So that won't be too difficult. And once we add rocks into that, that'll be fine. really nice. It really is. It really, really is. But yeah, so we have our bottom floor, we have our mid floor. Let's start making the top section. So this is going to be roughly the same size as the one below it. I am still too fast on flight. This is going to be a four-way section, so this is going to be a good little T intersection to where when you come up from here, you have 4 different little areas you can come out of. I will actually expand this out a bit more, just so there's a bit more room. So it's not like it's just only a area to be stuck in. There we go. Not a lot, just a little bit. Ooh, okay. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I forgot to extend this outwards. There we go. This needs to be... I mean, I could just break these to make it... Yeah, I'll just do that instead. There you go. I'm also having to take into account game design when I'm building this. And being like, how would a player do XYZ? AKA, what would I do if I had this opportunity? So that's what we're kind of basing everything off of. I have been enjoying the chill vibes recently, though. It's good to take a break from PvP. Especially since I've been practicing it a lot just recently. So, what would a child do? So just being able to build and just vibe with chat has just been nice. Because everything for like the past few days has been either island, battle box, or just PvP stuff for me recently, so... It's all coming together nicely. I'm actually going to keep this tunnel relatively short. This one specifically. Players who love breaking stuff. Yep. Like, that's why I'm like, I need to make sure if I put a chest anywhere, that it just can't be easily accessible. I'm making sure that, like, if something is hidden behind a keycard door, there's no glass that a player can just like break the glass, and the game ping will let them to just right click it before the glass like respawns. So just doing things like that. But I'm also like, it'd be cool to have a player being able to like hide right here when it's dark enough, and they're like trying to find someone, or like they're trying to chase after somebody or hide from someone, and they're just like this instead. So it gives them little hidey holes instead of being on a corner like this where there's like nothing to hide into. Because that's the other thing we're kind of looking into that we need to keep in mind is like, what are going to be cool moments for when players play the game? Because that is something that needs to always be kept in like the back of the head. Is that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, that's why. There you go. That's even. Areas to hide behind, areas of cover, areas to like sneak up on people. That's entirely what like this is based on. Also, this would just be a sick base to have in Minecraft in general. Like, how sick of just a survival base would this be if, like, if you find a deep enough ocean to build something like this? It would take a lot of copper, but, like... I'm just thinking, like, this for an actual survival base would be awesome. Average Hermitcraft starter base. Yeah. Because like you could build any farm that you couldn't do much redstone, but any basic farm that you would need if you weren't doing redstone stuff fits wonderfully into this. How did I... Okay, well, let me fix that real quick. There we go. So for this section, I could connect there to there, there, and there, and do something like this as like chains that are holding it together. Or you can build a town underwater. It's more futuristic. I looked into mine colonies, and I saw some of the stuff, and it is more futuristic, but it does give me like an idea of how to do stuff. There definitely probably could be some compact farms. Like you definitely could make something in here that's small enough, or into this room here. It just depends. What are we thinking though about this though, chat? Or like, do we something like that maybe? As like bracers that are connecting the parts that are being stacked on top of like above each other. I don't know what to do with the like maybe they can go here. But that doesn't make much sense. I don't know what to do with the grate portion yet. Because it looks too flimsy to be like something that holds something up. So I'm not sure. Unsure. Could... Is there anywhere in the base where water... Like maybe in the cafeteria. Is there anywhere in the base where water would / could gather that would rust faster? Here. Like in here. Like... Eh. Again, not too sure yet, but we'll find out. If nothing else, I am gonna do this. I'm also like, if there's stuff that's floating, I will add them here, right? Like I'm gonna add a support beam that's like right here, and I'll add one that's like here, and then I'll probably add one to here. And then if there's one that's super floating, like I'm probably gonna put one here. I'll add a support pillar that goes all the way up to here for it. But this is definitely really good. Like this is good so far. I'm actually gonna extend this one farther out than the others. Just because I can. I want some asymmetry into this where it's not everything so even. But enough to where it stands out enough. Like, we aren't going to have anything right here. It's going to be empty, so we can do a longer piece this way. Technically, this could be the cafeteria. If we make this bigger, like, this comes all, like, to here. And then we have, like, an outer section. Because it's the second floor, because, like, if storage and everything is on the first floor, like the laboratory, the storage and everything, the, this area can be, like, office space, barracks, cafeteria, rec room, and other stuff as well. Interrogators, welcome on in. We got a wonderful stream. We are just building an extraction right now, but what are y'all up to? What are y'all doing? Thank you for the raid. Hope you all had a wonderful stream. I actually didn't make this. Maybe the cafeteria is on this side. Because there's more spaces here. We'll still keep this to like this size just for rooms. But for now, better lag. First day on column 1. Oh, fun. An excellent ender frame. Oh, nice. Also, did I hear extraction? Yes, we are building a underwater labs for one of the new POIs for season 2 of Extraction. So all these different circles have new POIs at them that were being built. So I wanted to do an underwater labs, and that's what I'm doing right now. We can put a support pillar like here, dead center, holding this up. And there we go. One of your members made a roller coaster in the sky to AFK for legendaries. That's one way to try to farm them. Alright, there we go, there we go. Oh, geez, we've already been building for 3 hours. Okay, well, if that's the case, I'll finish this room here, then call it for today, because I usually go for 3 hours. And I don't really want to try rushing through all this. I want to take my time when I build this, so give myself breaks in that when I need it. Alright, cool. Let me... First point, second point there, and then... Oh. That. Cool. And I will, just real quickly, add the support braces for this. And then I will probably add a support pillar here. Just so like it's here in the middle. What is it? Oh, it's on the sides. And then bup, dot, there. That was built inwards. Cool. All right, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, and then bup, bup. Like that. I'm also just gonna bring that in a bit more. There we go. Like it's actually being held up properly now. So it looks great. Actually, I don't know why I did that. I still need all these blocks for later. I will move them to there. Awesome. All right, chat. We got a lot done for the first 3 hours. We need to do another room here. We need to do another room here. We can then make a room here that goes upwards and then do like a final little bit at the very top. And then afterwards, we need to fill it all in with water and also do all the interior. So, a lot of empty rooms. Where's the game room gonna go? Maybe right here. Maybe we'll do like a little bit of a rec room here. Because we have like cafeteria, barracks that then lead upwards, and then here. That's sick. A lot of different rooms, a lot of different spaces, but so far so good. We definitely need to add more support pillars on the bottom so not everything's floating. But so far so good. I'm liking how it's turned out. I didn't think I'd have as much space once I was starting to go down, but luckily we're just at the bedrock floor. Like we are exactly almost at bedrock floor, which is perfect for us. So can you see the texture? Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna add some more weathering into it and fix it all up. But yeah, with that being said, chat, why not? You know what? Emerald Bell. And we can finish off with a little bit of Sellout Bell for today while on the server. Awesome. Alrighty, chat. Cool. Let me turn this up. Let me turn that down just a little bit so we're not ears aren't entirely destroyed. That can go a little bit louder. Yeah, cool. What I missed so far? At the moment, we're just finishing up stream. We just built this. An underwater lab. It's not done yet, but it is in progress. So I'm excited for it. There's a bunch of other POIs, but this is fun. We're finishing up stream right now with doing some. I can see the vision. Sick. All right, we're finishing up stream with some Sellout Bell. So for those who are new here, this is the Technoblade Sellout Bell. We carry on this tradition, usually at the end of a stream, in a very much of a different way. We're gonna basically do a 3-ish, it's roughly like around a 3-minute song of a rave where chat spams Bell, spams one of us in chat, while I go on the whole Prime spiel. You don't have to sub, you don't have to give bits. If you want to, I appreciate it, but you do not have to. It's entirely just for fun and just keeping this tradition alive in a fun way of doing it. So with that being said, chat, let's enjoy and finish the stream with some Sellout Bell. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again to finish stream with the Sellout Bell. You know what that means? If you have a Prime sub, chat, that's basically a free sub that you can give to any single one of your favorite Twitch streamers. It can be me, it can be whoever. But if you have that sub, you might want to sub, because sometimes people forget that they have it. With that being said, I want to see y'all be spamming Bell. I want to see y'all be spamming one of us who's in chat. Let's have some fun. Bell, 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 bell. One of us, 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 one of us. I'm turning up the music just a little bit louder for y'all. But alright, chat. I want to keep y'all be spamming bells. I want to see y'all be spamming it. make the chat go super fast where I can't read it. Like you're doing right now. Well done, chat. Keep on going with that. But let's get ready for some One of Us's. One of us. 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 Bell. 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 One of us. 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 Bell. 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 All right, chat. You got 40 more seconds. 40 more seconds, chat. I want to see y'all be spamming it in chat. Bell, 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 bell. One of us. 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 Bell. 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 One of us. 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 Whew. Nice job, chat. Well done. And as always, that's super fun to do at the end of stream. Very, very silly and enjoyable. Something as I was just hearing Bell repeated over and over again. It's very silly. It's very, very fun. But I enjoy it, and y'all are enjoying it. So I do not care. Bop, loud noise. Why did that? Is OBS coming through? No, it shouldn't. It should just go there. Anyways, though. Bop. Let me turn down the music. Let me turn down my audio. Let me fix that once again. But with that being said, chat. Doing this tradition. In a way, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Bell's not even a word. Bell's not a word anymore at the end of stream. It's just not. It's a made-up word. But anyways, chat, we're gonna raid into somebody. And I think it is only fair that we raid into... Who do we raid into, chat? There's a lot of people I could raid into. You know what? Cleo's doing Power Washing Simulator, and y'all are enjoying some chill vibes today, so we're gonna raid into Cleo, because I haven't gone to raid into Cleo in a while, so that'll be fun. Slash raid zombie Cleo. Join on the raid chat, you can leave right on after. But thank you all again. You all have been awesome, amazing, and wonderful as always. Might get snapped because of caps. Then don't put too many caps. Just keep it relatively tamed on the cap limit. But thank you again, chat. You've all been awesome, amazing, and wonderful. And I'll see you all on Friday. We'll probably continue finishing up this for today. But as always, remember to abolish your regret. And I will see you all next time.